Hello, sir. Yes. Okay. So this is the we have confirmed on we just designed it this way, and we have confirmed that having a double layer tubing without meaning the double layer tubing here. If you can see in the drawing, the tube.
Not seeing the screen yet. I don't think.
Not
Ren.
yet. Okay. Let me.
Oh, you
Is
do?
the out?
We can see it, Rick. Yes.
Oh, okay. I was hidden behind my other screen, so we couldn't see
Ooh,
it
you
on
have
mine.
a very big screen.
Okay.
There we go.
So here you can. This is a double wall tubing. So the double wall tubing, there's a tube within a tube. So what we do here is we just let the water, your source water, pass through the spinning tube, what you call it, coil tube, and from there it will just pass through how many thirds. This is about 0.5 meter long, so the tube is about 1.5 meter long when it is
Can we, Renan, stop. You have
Yes,
to
sir.
make it clear. You have to make it clear. You have a double tube, and then you have put inside the double tube a coil, copper nano coated coil. Am I correct?
Yes, sir. So in the outer part tube, there can be a copper nano coated coil, or there is also an option that they can put guns, CO2 guns with water on the outer part of the tube. So both ways will do. The
So
CO2 guns.
there is a confusion here. We have to sort out, because
Okay.
the way you're drawing it to me is so in this is a where are we feeding the water to the blue
Okay.
tube, or start from the beginning, because we don't want to go through the same confusion as the what we did with the power unit.
Okay.
Start from
So
the beginning. Oh, turn it the other way, turn more. No, go back. We saw tube. Just go back. There was one angle. We see tube. Go more, the other way, the other way, the other way, the other way. No. To look along the tube. Just carry on.
Yeah, just
Rotate.
rotate
Just
it the
rotate.
other way.
The other way, the other way. No, the other way. Go away from
The
us.
other way.
More,
That
more,
way. A
more,
little
more,
bit
more,
more.
more, 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 more,
Side
more.
side view, Renan. Side view.
Yeah, we want the side. Okay, stop there.
Okay.
Stop there. Now we see it. Now it makes sense.
okay.
So this is a tube, a nano-coated tube, copper tube or copper wire, sandwiched between two pipes.
Yes, sir.
Correct? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Where is the water crossing? Is the water going through the central tube, or is it going through the blue twisted tube?
It does. The water will pass by the blue twisted tube.
Okay, so your nano coating is your center brown tube and outside brown tube.
Yes, the outer and the center tube.
Alright.
Brendan, could you move it along to the right a little bit and keep that same angle so we can see that connection?
Yeah,
don't
go to the other
turn
end
it,
of the tube.
just side. Okay,
Yeah,
that's a little
yeah,
bit.
that's perfect. Just go in. A little bit, reduce it a little bit more, please. Okay, that's perfect. So in a way, we connect the water from one end. The tube, the blue tube, is not nano coated inside.
No, it's not. That's the pass where the water will pass.
So we don't necessarily need to have the brown tube or the brown outside tube nano coated. As long as the brown tube is nano coated outside, the blue tube is nano coated outside, will do the same job. Or do we need to have a
Yes.
nano coated tube inside?
Yes, sir.
So in a
So
way, we just need a spring of tube, which is
yes, it
nano
will be a
coated
spring.
outside.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Carry on.
And to make it more effective, that's why it is on double tubing. As you can see, I'll focus it. You can see that it's a transparent tube around the blue tube. Can you see this? There's
Uh-huh.
a transparent. Yeah, so the transparent tube that is wrapping around the blue tube. So it just protects the outside. So if anybody can touch it, so they won't. There's no nanomaterials outside. So it's been
So we can just put
wrapped.
a cling film on it in a way.
Yeah, a cling
A
film or
plastic
just
film.
wrap.
Yeah,
Yes,
okay.
just to
Now,
cover it.
because then people think they have to have a tube over it. So as long as it's wrapped, that body does not come in touch with nanotube or GaNs material, is good enough.
Yes, sir.
Uh, okay, so in a way, can you, through the process you have with you, can you take the brown tube inside and the brown tube outside on your drawing? No,
This one, sir.
don't turn it, don't turn it. Keep it the way it is. Go back, go back, go back, go back, go back, go back. Okay, now take the brown, anything brown in there, take it away, please.
Okay, sir. For a while.
One is two straps have gone.
Yes, sir. I'm just looking at the parts.
Don't worry, you have all the time in the world because this is important. Okay, one is gone. Yep. Now the next one. These are your beautiful twins, I presume, Renan.
Right now at my back, they're just doing something even, and the eldest. Okay, these are the other one.
Okay. You lost your green tab somewhere. Yep, you're back. Now you gotta find the brown one.
Here it is. There.
Okay, and one elastic which is with it.
Okay.
Okay. Now, in fact, we just need a spring tube, which is nano coated outside. Am I correct? Just turn it.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. In fact, what we need is exactly the same coils that we had in the Magra power units, but now we use a tube, a water tube that is nano coated outside. Am I correct? Hello, Renan.
Yes, sir. That's correct.
That's okay. Now tell us the results. What does this do?
So the process will, when the water pass through this, we get the pH level of the water passing. First, it will increase. We have balanced water here at 7 pH, and from there, when it comes out from this other hose, what happens is it becomes 8 above. So the pH increases to alkaline state.
How can the people measure? Because we saw in the reports from the other member of the innovation group last time, showing millivolts on the meter, and he converted it into pH. Can you explain to us how you measure? I don't have a pH measurement, but I have a voltmeter at home. How do I measure to know it's changed?
Yes, for the using the voltmeter, there is a certain do we call equivalent for every millivolts. So I can show that video again, sir, if they want to see
Yes.
the
Could you please? Yeah.
yes
That
how
we
to
understand.
show. Okay, I will share
Yeah.
screen.
Okay. What is important till Renan brings the video out is that according to the scientific data we see published by other scientists, and especially The scientists who've been later on put into prison or murdered by organizations who did not want this technology of the simple process to come out, they have shown in their research, a lot of them, that the acidity of the stomach has something to do with the cancer. And in so many ways, a lot of them have shown, even by taking what you call sodium bicarbonate and other things which does this in the stomach, on a large quantity per day in a cup full of whatever mixed in the water with a cup full of water, can change the acidity of the stomach and the indigestion system, and then by changing this, the the cancer will go. Now that we understand the process further, we add to the knowledge of these scientists, these beautiful people who serve their life to show this. Now we give them, or we give you, a thank for what you've done, but in a very simple way. In a very simple way that any one of you can do this at home. You can change the alkaline and acidity to the level which is acceptable by your body, and you can control it from now on. So one of the main and major problems which the real scientists have shown to work, and it's been covered up by pharmaceutical, is the change of the acidity to alkaline, or change of the environment of the system. Let me explain to you how this works in the science. You want to show the measurement and then we explain, please, Renan.
Okay, sir.
What measurement do we have to look for? It says alkaline converter tube.
And what it does, it
We'll be
converts
looking on the
acidic water
millivolts area. So
alkaline
I'll be
water.
showing the.
So I call it alkaline converter tube. Water.
I will just go
The next
proceed
glass
with
is also
the
safe
rating, sir.
mineral water without the tube.
Is this on the internet, on the blueprint?
It's not yet, sir. It's not yet in the blueprint, but it's already in the cloud. I can share.
Yeah, but you have to put it on a blueprint that people can see it.
This is the answer.
That our body cells condition has a corresponding.
So these are the equivalent. So if you are measured at negative 50 millivolts with your meter, you are in healing state. And if you're tired, that's a negative 15 millivolt. And if you're sick, that's at negative 10 millivolt. And the rest, organ failure at negative 5 millivolt, and prone to cancer at 0 millivolts.
Okay.
In terms
And now, so we measure, how do we measure the acidity and alkalineness of the water we drink?
Okay, this is the next. So this is the alkalines, or the levels. So in the pH is equivalent to 0 pH, very acidic. That's positive 400 millivolts, and the equivalent average or water is pH 7 is zero point 0 millivolts, and high alkaline at 14 is negative 400 millivolts. So this is the conversion from acidic. If you get this reading, you can convert it.
Can you put these two datas and the other one next to each other somehow?
Okay, I will get the screen, sir.
No, because then we have to understand it. If you can put the two datas, what has been done by the doctor and what we know by voltage, then we as people, when we use this tube, we can measure the voltage and say, okay, I've changed my position. This in fact, as I've said before, we are used to it. At the moment, we go to the shops, we buy filters for water. In the Western world, or in most of the part of the world, we buy these carbon filters, where we allow the house water to go through these filters and we drink it, we say it's clean the way we want it. This is a natural process, the same, but plasmatically, you change the acidity to alkaline. Is the point of the zero, below zero, above zero. One is frozen and one is a warm, whatever you want to call it. And this is important to understand, because what the maggrav layers of the nanomaterial of the copper does is creates a condition that changes the voltage and the current within the layers of the water which pass through. It does not change the material state, it changes the energy state. So as we've seen, alkaline is minus, or the acidity is plus. So it gives energy and it takes energy. And the way you turn it as a coil, it creates the same way control as coil as what you did with the pens, with the paint pens. It has both gravitational and magnetical. So the water becomes the center pin, which will carry the information. The water now is the fluid pin, where in your pen, the fluidity was totally by the pen in the center, which was nano coated. In a way, what happens, we change the energy state in the plasma of the water. There is a question. Most of you who do this, test it. What flow rate is the best flow rate for what size pipe that gives us the continuity of the alkalineness? Then the question comes, do we need to go and buy bottle bottles anymore? Or have we put an end to a fake market, what is called bottle bottles? You can make these bottle bottles by one spring. You take it anywhere you go on a holiday and just add it up. You're in the office, you have it, you can do it. Cost less than a few dollars. These pipes will be put into the market very soon by Keshe Foundation Manufacturing. Then you don't need to do anything else. You just put it in there, in any cup, you can do it, you can change it, and then later on today, we show you an innovation by a couple in the United States who have come up with another way to do it. We already know it because we made it. A lot of you have made it before, but this gives a versatility to their work. And then on the 18th, we show these cups to you, how beautifully it's done by them and how it can be repeated and can be done by anyone. That's where we see from Dr. Jerry Tennant. Healing is at minus 50 millivolt. We see pH 7 is 0, and we see a cancer level is at 0 millivolt. This is what we have to understand. The minus figure and how you switch. Prone to cancer is minus 0 millivolt. This, don't get confused. What's the difference? The other side, it says pH is at a 0, where is a minus. Sometimes, most of the times on your meter, you see it. You see the 0, but it stays minus.
There's quite a few questions on how the readings are taken, how are the probes arranged, or are they in the water, or do you hold them in your hands and so on?
You can. Let's Renan explain to us and his team in the background.
What we did here is both probes are immersed on the water to check the pH. For the body, you use your right hand on the positive and the left hand on the negative. So
Does it matter how far the probes are apart?
yeah, it doesn't matter. It's more on,
Okay.
if you have a bigger probe, that
Wait, Renan, you just touched on something very nice and you walked away. Stop.
Okay.
You said for your body, you hold the positive in your right hand or left hand?
The positive is it's a parallel connection, right hand.
On the right
And
hand.
yeah, left
Negative
hand
on the left.
Yes,
Negative
for the
is where we
male.
receive. Okay. So when we do that, what do we expect? We look at the meter, and let's say if the meter says I am minus 50, what does it mean?
So in that instant, you are in a condition of healing certain parts of your system.
So, in fact, we don't need to go to a doctor to consider if we have a cancer or not. We can
Yeah,
hold
only a simple meter can do it.
the simple meter can. So, in a way, if you hold the meter in your hand and then see you are at minus zero point 0.5, according to Dr. Jerry Tennant. This is not what we are teaching. These are scientists, doctors who medically have tested and reversed a lot of cancers. But in the meanwhile, they came under a lot of pressure. Now they can put pressure on all of us. You cannot measure. I think very soon voltmeters become a criminal offense to hold at home as well, like nanomaterials, because now we can test ourselves. So if this is correct, let a large number of you, especially those of you who are suffering with cancer, follow this. They get a voltmeter, put a voltmeter in your right hand and on the positive, am I correct? And the
Yes,
negative
sir.
in your left hand, and tell us what you are. Vince, I asked you to set up a voting system. Is that, or people, is that ready yet or not? So it'll be important for us, for those of you who suffer from illnesses. Let us do this together today. Get a voltmeter. Walk out. Most of us, we have this little gadget called voltmeter in the house. Get a voltmeter. If somebody told you, or you don't feel good or whatever, send the data in the number, in the connection we give you now. We have opened the One Planet, One Nation, One Race.org. It'll be open in the next few minutes, and Vince will announce it to us. We work as one nation. We work as one family. Put the data into the center where we give you the information that you want to pass. Let us see, how do we see if we can justify this research live.
Can we get clear on whether it's DC or AC?
It's all DC.
All
DC.
DC.
All
Okay,
All
DC.
thank
DC.
you.
So what we're going to do today, these are the live workshops that we start running publicly with all of us. So let's validate some of the work together. Dr. Jerry Tennant says, if we show minus 50, we are healing. What about if we show minus 100? Are we healthy, Brennan?
I think this is based on a level, sir, because I will be seeing because he has a tenant institute university, so he's teaching homeopathy. I
Yeah.
think Dr. Jordan, and most of the homeopathic doctors here in our place use a device similar to a voltmeter, but what they do, it's still in millivolts. They have a millivolts reading. What they do is, instead of putting it on both hands, they put the negative on the left hand and the positive pointing to certain acupoints of your parts of your hands. So meaning when you have I'll draw it, sir. What
Yes,
they
I
use,
know. We know the pattern. The acupuncture point in the organs on the finger we worked with, we've seen it before. You can go on
yes,
the internet and take it out. So you can put the other one, somebody can put the pin on your liver, see if you got a liver cancer, you got a kidney failure or
yes,
whatever. So let's understand that fully. Can you add that picture to your thing, to your the meridian acupuncture points somewhere in the
yeah.
list?
I, I will get the picture, sir. But it's from the internet, so maybe it's not
Yeah.
allowed.
Ah, God, yeah,
Yeah,
we have all the.
yeah,
Rick, you're good at this. Can you find us a public picture we can use without
That's
copyright?
of the acupuncture points. Is that what you mean?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
yeah, for the hands.
If you can bring it, then now we bring the workshop live the way we start doing it, other things. This is part of the workshop. It's a public workshop. Let's do it together. We can collectively confirm yes or no if it is. And please, those of you who have cancer, you've been confirmed cancer, or you have somebody with you, your loved ones or your friends or whatever, who've been diagnosed with a cancer, to go through this test with us now, or while you're listening anytime in the next few days and weeks. and go back into one P, one N, one R, one planet, one nation, one race.org, or one planet, one nation, one race dot cashfoundation.org, and put the data in. This is a live test. This is what we call clinical trial worldwide simultaneously. Nobody can stop you to diagnose how sick you are and where you are sick of. Get a voltmeter, measure, right hand, left hand. Follow the procedure which is going to be explained according to what is done by the scientific world, by the doctors who spend a lifetime to develop it. Now, through nanotechnology, we can change the position. We are not, this up to now is not what we bring in, it's what is passed on to us with the knowledge of the beautiful scientists in the past. Now we have added a tool that we can change the acidity to alkaline into minus whatever, that over time we change the condition, the environment, magnetic gravitational field of our limbs and our organs, and we can say goodbye to biggest killing machine of the man, which is what we call cancer. Let us do it together. Let us do it correctly. Let us gather the information. Whoever you are, wherever you are, it's impossible that one of us, we don't know somebody who's been diagnosed with a cancer, is on a chemotherapy, or have had an organ taken out, or whatever, been under radiation, where if we can show publicly, you take the results today, it shows cancer. Maybe some of you will be surprised with the results. You find out you got a cancer and you didn't know, or is in progress. Or you had a cancer, you're not sure if it's coming back or not, or if it's there or not. You can test yourself. This is a space technology. In a space there are no doctors. It's you who have to justify your own existence. Are you absorbing? Have you absorbed? Have you received enough energy in one cell that it changes the whole body? Why do you measure cancer by measuring through your finger? Because if there is a cancer in the liver, it touches every organ of you. The balance changes. If the cancer is in lung, the same. If it's in your intestine, whatever. So now for the first time, let's do it publicly. Not only, we are not here to qualify if Dr. Jerry Tennant is correct or not. We are here to thank him, at least he gives us another option to measure. So a voltmeter costs a few dollars, very few dollars, but you can find out if you have, how healthy you are, and then over the next 2 or 3 weeks, build yourself one of these pipes. We try to market this as fast as possible. I asked the manufacturing division in Italy to just go through. We won't put it in the shiny boxes and everything. We let you have it as it produced, mass produced, shipped, that you can use it. For reference, we say go to the teaching of 99. It's a beautiful number, 99. 999 is 18 and is 9. We come to the totality of teaching today. These are the meridians. It's on the internet. So pinpoint it to where it is. Measure, first of all, your own energy level, the way Renan is explaining. And then set up these pipes and see if your voltage changes. See if you use a gallons of CO2 on this copper line, the water which comes out of it changes you emotionally, as it's changing the acidity of your lung. You can do another thing with these pipes. You can make the pipe in a way that you make an attachment to end that you breathe through it. Don't forget the inside should not be nano coated. Plug it that nothing goes in. And make sure that the end where you put your mouth, there is no nanomaterial. That you breathe the change. I've done this for years with my patients. I have changed the acidity, I have changed the air condition breathing. If you've been with Keshe Foundation Health System, you always get a cup with a straw in it, empty water bottle. I ask the volunteers to breathe the air, I ask the volunteers to drink from the same cup. Now you have it in your hand. If you have a lung cancer, if you are short of breath, if you are a COPD patient, if you are suffering from cancer, just use both the water and the breathing. If you have a mental condition, anything, depression, what I call fibromyalgia, just breathe through these tubes. It will change you beyond your imagination. You'll find out slowly everything which is inside you changes. You can change the cover, make a cover with CO2, and somewhere else get a tube, one of those tissue packs which we showed you, the patches, wrap it around the tube for food. You receive the energy both ways.
Mr. Kesh, does Renan have something he'd like to show there about that, or would you like to
Can you
keep
go ahead? Yes, he's got to.
the acupuncture points up?
Yeah, carry on. But
Okay.
we have to know what we are doing. So please report back. Just don't take the knowledge and say, send the knowledge in who you are, this is what you did, and report back to us in a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 3 months, by using these pipes for the water, using these pipes for breathing. What has changed? These are pipes of life. This is another way of cup of life. Easier way. Can you show us, Renan, exactly what you are trying to explain? And that voltage we have to understand fully, please. Yes, carry on, please.
Okay, sir.
Yes. It's just...
The one that I wrote a while ago, I'll draw it again. There's a as you can see, the probe, just you can test if you have the electric probe, the probe, and the other probe here. So,
Renan, this is
Yeah.
Robert Stovefield. I have a question. When we used to use these for the chiropractor's office, we used to have to dip the end in water. Is that still the case with this?
you
Where
just
you're
need
using
to you just
a
need
voltmeter.
to moist your hands a little bit moist. You wet your hands with a little bit moist, so to have a conduction of the fields. The left hand usually holds the negative probe, and the right hand usually holds the positive probe. And some of the homeopathic doctors, they have a probe that is like a tubular. It's a tubular metal probe where you hold everything with your hands, your your fingers. So you hold it.
If we hold the end of the metal end of a voltmeter, should do the same.
It will still do the same, but it has a little coverage, little surface area. But it will do the same, sir. But to have a bigger coverage, you can use a bigger probe. There are specialized probe for this that you can build.
So
Just
what
to
about the left hand? The left hand, do we hold the plastic or do we hold the metal end?
also the metal. The left hand and the right hand will hold both metals. But using the acupuncture, what you need to acupuncture points, if in the hands, you can see the different example here is the stomach area. If you point this probe to that area, to this area, and the left hand is holding this one, you will see the stomach. You are measuring the stomach. The stomach's
Do we still hold it in the left hand, the left probe?
yeah,
Or
the left
can we
probe,
hold-
the ground will be holding the left. So the black probe will be held by the left hand, and the right probe or the red probe so will be pointed to the certain area of the hands. So that's why most of the probes are pointed. So you need to have something to make it flat, so you can point it to certain points of the hands. So this
The way
is
we can
usually
point
done
up
here.
the pin of the voltmeter is usually sharp pin.
Yeah, it's sharp. You can cut it off if you want to use it for medical. You can ground it off to make it flat or round. So you can point it to the
Get the
different,
maximum area.
yeah, get a maximum area and point it to the different parts of the hands. Most of the homeopathic doctors here, I've been going to homeopathic doctors in our place, and they use this device. So it's not their device. They have already a specialized device, but it's still a voltmeter. It's a millivolts reading that they have, and with sound effects. So they just modify it, but it's the same. It's a voltmeter that they are using. Then they gauge it, so that's why they put a base reading of 50 millivolts. So if they read that you reach 50, it means you're balanced. So your body is properly complete and it's healing.
What about if you
That's
are
why.
100?
If you are in 100, I think you're over. You need to
You're
go
over
back
healthy.
over healthy. You need to share your energy. And
Is
mostly I
it,
diagnose it's below
is it
50.
is it possible that we see a beautiful chart you've made up which says prone to cancer -0, pain +5, decreasing of oxygen +10, viral infection +15. Is there a more detailed measurements we can post on the blueprint?
We will do the research with the study of Dr. Jerry Tennant, sir. Clint did this research, so I think if we look on his papers, I think we can. He has public papers we can share for this one.
Okay, so now the other thing is, can we do measure the same way the ganses of, let's say, orange? Then we know this strength is what we receive from orange. This gives us a very simple tool we've been looking for.
We have not yet tried it that way, sir. It may be the same because it's if it measures some way for humans, maybe this can we can create equivalent in millivolts for other other plasma, other entity.
And all we need to measure is the end water to see what comes out of it.
Yes,
That's,
the liquid that comes out of it.
so for people like Alex and the others who tried the banana and the orange, we can measure the pH of or the millivolts of the water beforehand, and then measure it after they put the onions or the orange or banana on it and see if it changes there. Then we see if
Correct.
it changes in a plasmatic condition which reduces to matter state that we can measure electron volts. Can some of you as Keshe Foundations around the world, I know you are good at it, going to start doing it. If you can test it and let us know and go public with it, whatever you use, or put it on the Keshe
I
Foundation.
believe also the Long Beach, California group are also testing this, sir. They've been testing this pH and also in many ways, so they can confirm it as well.
Okay, we are, as we explained, we are sending couple of the pens we saw in the green, what they call in the blueprint day, which shows for what they call diabetic and for addiction, to 3 scientists, 3 doctors around the world to
Yes.
test. As you know, they should be leaving today. And then the results will be shared by the doctors, good, bad, whatever it is, what we have to change. And further on, you see things on your plate here. As further on, we add to this knowledge. This is what we need. Please go from now on. Use the Keshe Foundation as Vince explained, the testimonial, or go to the Keshe Foundation forum open a section for measurement of different things and use the forum fully from now on. A lot of people have forgotten to use the forum. The forum is there for the Keshe Foundation and the people of the world just to come in and share your knowledge. We have changed things. The website is going to change in the next couple of weeks, hopefully as well, that we become more, what do you call it, involved in what we are doing now that the restructuring is more or less completed. We need to know more. We need to know what it is, and in a way, by measuring our voltage and current or whatever in our body, we can decide we don't need to go through these complicated situations. And if a simple pipe can do this, can change a lot of things. Let me explain to you something very simple. A lot of you will understand immediately what these pipes mean. In Belgium, where we used to live, near the house, there is a place where people come from all over Belgium. It's a park. People come and they take water from this fountain in the park. And they say this water, when you drink it, it affects your eyesight. It makes it better. And people, I've seen people coming with a crate of bottles to fill it up to take it for their loved ones or themselves, which they have an eye problem. We've seen this around the world for a long time. People go to specific places to drink or bath in a specific waters, which to us is nothing but just the water. But it changes certain diseases. These tubes are the same thing, brought in a very simple way to what you used to do, our ancestors done for centuries. With these tubes, we create the same condition. Let me explain to you what happens with this spring in Belgium. The waters, when they are collected, when the rain comes, they pass through an environment in the mountain where the composition of the material creates a gravitational magnetic field strength which matches the strength of the tissue of the eye, the neural system of the eye. And when you drink it, because it's of the same, in your stomach, in digesting, in changing the condition of the lymph, there is availability that the energy which brings balance to the eye will come to see. And then it changes you. We heard the same thing from the lady in Canada with Ali, that she had an eye problem, and to the day after she was tearing all the time, and the day after she has no more eye problem. In that tent, in that environment which is created in Ali's house, it creates the same condition as the mountain in Belgium has created for the man who comes and takes the bottle. We don't need to drink it, but in doing it, creating the environment, it creates a plasma. In the teachings of Tuesday, we showed the orphans, the orphanage in India, which was brought us by our beautiful lady in India, that I said we explained to you that we make the environment and we change the children. We don't need to tie them up to something. We change the environment of the house. Go back please to the Tuesday teaching of the health international teaching and listen to that, because we're not going to repeat everything again and again. So it's the same principle. There we change the environment, here we change the water or air. Then instead of the water going to another mountain, another structure inside which creates a different gravitational magnetic field energy in the water, that then you drink it, and if you have a what do you call it, earaches, it helps your ear, or if you have a toothache, it helps your toothache, or if you have a stomach cancer, it helps your stomach. Now we understand why our ancestors, why animals go to the springs, to certain waters, because these waters carry the strength that changes certain structure which guarantees the survival. So this spring is a very simple spring. Try a plastic version of it. If you nano coat the outside plastic, this looks like a lot of you, if you look at it, brings you back the pressure pipes they use for pressure pumps. is there. All you need to do, just nano coat it and see if the air going through it on the other end changes the pressure, what they call the acidity to alkaline. Wrap a CO2 on it. Wrap a CO2 with zinc on it. If you're infertile, you can't get pregnant, wrap a combination of zinc and copper oxide, sorry, zinc and CO2 around the tube and drink from it. Let us know, let the rest of humanity know, as one nation, one family, that the other people can change the condition. We know one of the biggest problems in major big cities is infertility, because we done it to ourselves. In the cities like London, it's a huge infertility problem. People cannot get pregnant. What's the reason? We gave birth control pills to our women for us to have fun without children, and we got a kickback from it. The estrogen has entered the water cycle. These cities cannot provide a clean water all the time from the rivers or the reserve waters. They recycle, but in the cycle of recycling, they don't take oxygens out. So we drink it again, and not only the women become infertile, the men become infertile worse. So how can you have children when you want, when you already done it with the pills? In a way, we are eating and drinking the pills of God knows millions of the women when you're in major cities. Maybe with this process we can reverse it. Maybe with this process we have found an easier way to stop a lot of pain from the people who suffer with wanting a child and not having been able to have a child. We are testing this with pens, we are testing these with pads, we are testing this with the new coils. And you can do it at home. There is huge amount of opportunities for us to change.
Mr. Kesh, speaking of tests, I've got my meter set up with the probes. I could show the voltage
My God, you are quick.
test.
You are very quick. Yes, carry on. Why not?
Okay.
If anybody else who's testing it, come online, raise your hand, we listen.
And Renan, you can educate me if I'm not doing this correctly and so on. Let's get this set up here first.
Rick, before you go ahead, I have a technical question. I have this new voltmeter. I have 3 plugs in. Where does the red and the black one go into?
Well, the black is usually in COM or common.
Okay, the
black in
positive
common,
one.
and the red should be in your. There's a place for amps. You don't want it there. You don't want it in temperature. You want it in the normal. What do they call it here? Volt and capacitance, depending on what you have set up.
Yeah, mine says V, and it has the ohm figure on it, so that's the one you want it in.
Yeah. Okay, so you should be able to see the reading there, and I've got the 2 probes, red and black, and so it's at 0, obviously, pretty much. Sometimes it ranges a little bit. So you just hold them here and see what happens. Okay, that's what, about 70, 60 something.
You're very healthy.
50.
You're recovering. Don't forget that Rick had a tooth pulled out a couple of days ago.
That's right. My body kind of went into hyper repair mode for the last couple of days. So, and there it is, right around.
You have no cancer. You're a healthy man. You're super.
Oh, that just shot up to 80 when you said that.
So I think it's to do with the maple leaf syrup.
Yeah, that has a lot to do with it.
Okay.
Actually,
now, can you let's do something else, Rick, while you're there. I know you have everything with you in there. You were most well-equipped scientist I ever known. Get a glass of water. Can you measure a glass of water, and then get put if you can, you have balls with the gans in it. Can you put a bowl of GANs in the water and see if we can change it with the bowl of GANs? Or we can give it time to change. You have a lot of
Wait.
these pinky, orangey ping pong balls, or if you have a nano coated pipe, you can pass the water through it and check it.
Okay, let me get some water. Get it set up.
I
Is
think
there
if I
anything
touch the,
Brendan wants to show in the meantime here, or?
Just
Yeah.
placing the in Rick's field on his lap or something like that should be able to change it. I used to use one of the machines from the International Health Technologies called the Scan MSA, and just putting it in the field person. Robert Stubblefield. Just putting it in the field of the person will change the and there's one on the thumb right by the fingernail that we use as a point that you test these things from. So it'll be on the, if you're holding your finger and you fold your hand and you fold your thumb in, it'll be the one closest to your body, right next to the bottom of the thumbnail.
Can you repeat that, please, Robert? Can you repeat it slowly that we understand?
Yeah. If you are holding your hand so that you can look at the bottom, the palm of your hand, and you fold your thumb in, not the part of your thumb that's
Can you
closer
go on
to.
the camera and show us if we share camera with you?
I can certainly do that.
Rick, while you're getting ready, don't put anything in that jar. Just let's measure it, measure another water in another jar and put something in it while we come back. Is that okay with you? He's not there. Rick, are you there?
Sorry, I couldn't hear because if I take my microphone out or my
Yeah,
headphones
just
off. then-
Robert, wait. Rick, can you measure the water now, please? Rick, wait, Robert, we come back to you. Just wait a minute.
Okay,
What's the
so
water
let's
measurement?
set up a little better here. Meter.
What is the measurement in your water there? Is this the right way? Oh, -9.
This is distilled water.
Can we have a tap water? Do you have a tap water in Canada?
Yep, definitely.
Can we have a tap
I'll
water?
get that sample.
Yeah.
I won't be able to hear you when I get away from my microphone.
We wait, no problem. Robert, can you just hang on till we start this and then we come back to you?
Absolutely. Anything you need.
Explain to us exactly. I saw your hand. I saw your camera on. We can see it, but the public can't.
You can see my
Okay.
hand. You'll be able to describe it better than myself then. Do you see the black point on my thumb?
Yeah.
Right by where my fingernail is? That's use general testing the machine.
I think we have to come to you. We don't understand it. Just wait. Rick is back.
Okay, so this is the tap water, which is from a well here. But I know that the well has quite a bit of iron in it. So let's just see these cords. Just a second here. I'll straighten them out. Settle down, you guys. Okay, here we go. We're at 0 now.
-117.
Even up to, let me pull it back a little bit here on the probe so I hit the plastic in here.
How is this water running?
I'll go back to the distilled water and see what happens here again.
You get 28, 22, 21, 17 minus.
Yeah, I think that's what it was before. I'll clean the probes and back to the other one.
-16, 15. 30. What is 30?
Seems like as the probes get cleaned off, it goes up a bit. Or the probes
Okay,
get.
what is minus 25? Brennan, you got the dealing there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm minus.
Depends where you push it, huh?
See if I can hold them steadier.
It's minus 26. What is round minus 20? Distilled water is minus 21, 22. They're about the same.
Rick, can you check and see if the distance between the probes makes a difference, please?
Should do.
Sure. Okay, this is at the.
Rick, this is like your workshops, huh?
Okay, there we go. Okay, I'll have the probes further apart here first.
Okay, bring them next to each other. Just do the same. Find some sort of measurement gap.
So there's what, 28, 29, 30.
Yeah, but what's the gap
Slowly
between
bring
the
it
fingers?
between the fingers. I'll try to just get the tips of the probes together.
Yeah, it's not much. It's about 20% difference. Now it changes, huh?
Yeah, it changed when the plastic hit the water.
The depth.
That's right.
Take
Yeah.
the plastic out. Take the plastic out.
Yeah.
Take the plastic out. Just
Does
dry
seem to
the
make a
plastic.
difference
Dry
with
the plastic.
I
Dry
think
the
if-
plastic.
when you
When-
change the distance. Rick, if you-
Hi, Armin. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Kidd. It changes when you change the distance.
Yes, we know that. That's what we call potential difference. But we got to keep the same distance.
Rick, will you try microvolts rather than millivolts?
It's too much.
It's an auto ranging scale, so it automatically goes to where it wants to go.
Okay, go to the other water now, please. Distilled water. Clean it. The same distance.
Yeah, it's sort of an outer distance there.
Okay,
And if you bring it closer together,
not much difference. Go. Okay, now write this down that we know which one we are exactly, what we decide in what point. Can we write it down, somebody somewhere? So do the far point of the jar with or exact position with both that are stuck. Okay, do the same kind of distance that we know where we are. Okay, can we do that?
like something like this,
Just
maybe.
the metal. Yeah, please. Yeah, one gap, the gap. Just the metal. 20, 19, 18. Okay, stabilize. And now clean up and go to the other one, please. Minus 31. This looks to be healthier water according to the chart. The lower we go in millivolts negative. So the other one was 18, 19. This is 28, 29. Okay.
Yeah, that seems
Can you-
consistent.
Okay, can you get, do you have any nano coated inside, not outside, with the GANs in it that we can put in one of the bottles? Or do you have a nano coated tube that you can pass the water through?
Maybe like what about one of these?
What is the CO2 bottle? Okay, clean it, wash it, clean it, that doesn't carry any GANs with it or anything with it. And there's no leakage, just wash it under the tap water. Or that we have no residual.
Okay, hang on a second.
Robert will come to you. Ronan, what is 20 and what is 18? What's 29? What kind of diseases we are looking for?
We're gonna convert it into pH. What pH? I'll first
Hello. Okay,
Hello.
so you want me to put this in the?
In the in the tap water, yeah.
Okay, I'll get the probes ready.
No, leave it there. It takes time.
Okay.
It takes time. Put it in and leave it there for a while. Just let it go in. Drop it in because it does
Yeah.
its own way. And leave it there for a while. Have you got a cap? You could close the cap, the jar.
Sure.
I kind of like these real world examples.
We got to. We're going into the stage we change. We got to change altogether. This the teachings. Now we're coming to the real part of the teaching.
Well, this is very interesting for me because I just moved, and the place I moved into, we have a horrendous amount of chlorine in our water, and I'm loath to drink it.
Try your system if it changes the fluorine. Why not? We had this before. A lot of people ask this question.
Yeah, I'm going to go out tomorrow and get some flexible copper pipe, copper tubing, and see if I can come up with a system tomorrow.
No, you're measuring air, Rick.
Well, you never know. These two jars might be talking to each other a bit, so especially with the GANs in this one, it might make the other one
Okay,
jealous.
can you shake your jar that the thingy can go everywhere? The GANs. Oh, I presume this is one of the, what do you call it, maple syrup jars?
No, this is just some beans or something like that. So is the glass interface on this little jar inside, is that interfering in terms of should
We don't know. We'll
plastic
see.
be better?
Let's see. We come to assumption. Then we have to do one without the gas CO2 in it and then measure it. But I don't think it'll make that much difference. Would you like to take it out and measure it again? Don't touch the water if you can. Get it and get it out.
Take that out?
Yeah, measure it with it inside and measure it without and see if we get any difference. Because they say it needs an hour or so, what we were told by in some other tests. But that was nanotube coated. Hasn't changed. It's gone down. Can you clean your tip and put it back in? Can you clean the tip of the thing? Your
Mr. Kesh.
yes.
This is Francois. I put my spiral nano coated, and then the thing went to minus 160 in my glass of water.
Yes, because we understand that. We don't want to do that because then you interact with the nanoparticles. We're trying to see as if the GANs can do it. But the GANs is different than nanomaterial. This is just an experiment. Can you take that thing out of the water without touching it?
Let me see.
Sticking up, just grab it.
Sure.
Okay. And now measure the water. This is a few second job. Let's see what we get, if we get any difference. No, we gone the other way.
Might need to leave it overnight, Rick.
Yeah, because they talk about the other way. Okay, now Rick, I know your house is full packed with copper nano coated materials. Can you put a copper nano coated material in there? Not again. I think he has more nano coated material than anywhere else, even in the reserve banks.
Well, I don't have that much, but how about something like this, a coil?
Yeah, put it in. Put it in. Let's see. I leave it in it.
It's just the perfect height. It's got a little handle that I can pull out.
Okay, can you measure now to see if you see a change?
Washed, Rick? Your nano coil is washed?
Not clear on that. That one's one of Guy, the one that Guy had, and I'm not sure. I think he washed it, but it may not. It may have residue. That's right. So that could change something.
Okay, change. Let's see where we go. Leave it in there for a while. Okay, we go. Yes, carry on, please.
Hello, nice to meet you.
Can you increase your audio a little bit? We can barely hear the microphone.
Yes, I could try to speak louder. Is that okay?
Not very good
No,
for me.
we don't have a good voice and we don't have a clear picture.
Yes, my camera is very cheap. I'm going to try to speak close to the camera. Can you hear me now?
Yes, please.
It's a little better. Thank you.
Yes, so it's an honor to speak to you guys. So I've been working on this for the past 3 months right now. I have about 30 capacitors plugged on it. I'm using the new capacitors made as donuts. Let's see if I like this. I find these are very, very great. They give me 1.2 volts each. And
Can
it's
you
very
explain
constant.
this to us, please?
Well, yes, these are little McGrath coils, we could say. It's re-looping within itself, and it's a coil with the paper and GANs and just aluminum around it. But it's giving me voltage for two capacitors, well, for 2 layers. So they're very powerful. Like this setup is 2.5 volts right now. So I recommend making these because they're very, very solid and they're very fun to work with and they're very powerful. I've
And
also
how do you do it? You just wind. Let's finish one thing that we all learned, please.
yes.
You made a coil. You put the GANs on it.
Yes. Well, I made a coil and I put Scott towel on it and I put some GANs and well, actually, first of all, I did the coils and I rewinded the wire within the coil. So it's like a little McGrath, but only with one wire, one coil. But it's re-looping gravitational within itself. And then once the donut was made, I added the Scott towel with GANs and then the aluminum paper and single layer in this particular case, and they're giving me 1.25 volts each.
Okay,
So
can you put this design, give it to Renan? Are you in the background that we can put this on a blueprint, please?
Yes, sir. Only one thing, the other coil, make it little bit smaller. You will have more power.
Oh, okay, yes.
Which other coil, Arman?
Any. It's 2, but if you put one little bit smaller than the other one, the power is more. Now you have the same.
Yes, I will do that.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Arman.
I've also made another version here of what we could say a McGrath. They're also the same concept going on here, but I put a gap between each of them. So it's the rewire looping within itself. Same process, but in this case, I plugged everything in parallel. I could have plugged it.
Nomination, yes. Okay. What about the donation for the tickets?
I could have
Thank
plugged
you.
it in many
What
different
about the
ways.
shop for donation for the conference?
Mr. Kesh, we can hear you talking there in the background.
Yes.
Let me,
Okay. Sorry about that. I forgot.
we can mute it. Sorry, go ahead, Stefan.
Yeah, so this is a prototype, my first prototype. It's like, we could say it's a McGrath because it's the same configuration instead, but I put capacitors. I put 8 capacitors on one and 7 on the other one. I was planning to make a type of carousel and plugging them in series afterwards. So to make a little generator. If I find that they're pretty powerful, but I need to work on it. I also made a real McGrath with capacitors inside.
Excuse me. Stop.
Yes, sorry.
Explain exactly how you done that.
Yes, so this one I use the same coils as a McGrath, but what I did is I put some spacing. I just unwinding part of the coil because I made it longer, and I unwinded it a bit, so I ended up having little pieces of winding, and I re-looped the wire within itself so to create a circle, and then I gansed it. I put paper, I gansed it, and I put aluminum paper and a winding. So I had first made one, the bigger coil. So I had 2 options. I could either link them together like a McGrath, but I had decided to bring them all together in the center just to create a parallel circuit. So I added a second one of 7, and I just decided to hook it up in parallel. But there's so many options that I could do. I could also make more and link them in series. So I would have 8 in parallel, plus I could also continue adding them in series afterwards. So I really like this model. But I also made a real McGrath with capacitors inside of it. It's just, I have it on my ceiling. It's the same thing, but this time I didn't leave a space, but I left a free space between each capacitor row that I did on the inner coil, and then I re-looped it into the regular coil. So it really has 8 capacitors inside the exterior, the bigger coil. I'll show it to you. And the center coil, I made a regular capacitor out of it. See if I could. So you can't really see it well, but it's really 9 capacitors inside, plus 3 that I just plugged on the exterior. It only gives me 0.5 volts. But I always have it because I have 8 options of it touching and making the circuit. So I'm not too sure if they're giving me more amperage. I don't have anything to test it out. And yeah, I have a little gadgets here and there also. I've been working on this for the past 3 months, pretty much non-stop. I have another piece that I like very much. So this is my wand that I like. It's not a pen, but it has been used on a critical case, and it's pretty powerful. It healed my mother's neck. A lot of pain there. I also am working on the little switcher because I have so many questions to ask you, Mr. Kesh. It's pretty amazing. So this is a switcher I'm working on. I'm going to add 2 more so I could switch my polarity.
Okay, I'm gonna come in. When you finished, we're gonna keep that, and when you finish totally, then we come back to this. We bring the Innovation Center guys in to explain.
Yes, okay, thank you.
Okay. Carry on, explain what you've done, please.
So in this case, I'm trying just to hook up a certain wire so I could reverse my coil polarity so I could move in one direction or another, because I've learned recently in the past workshop somebody talked about it and I was looking for that information, and if I'm not mistaken, is that the way that we can move, by changing polarity of the coil, and it will move in that direction by adding 3 volts and switching the polarity, if I'm not mistaken?
So I completely disconnected this wire here. It was plugged into the one of the coils on the maggraph, so we got only one wire here going to the ground. So if I touch it, turn off this, and actually I'll leave it on, you can still see. So I'm just gonna zoom it out a bit. Okay. So I'm gonna touch it, see? Can you see it on?
Yeah, we can see it there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's blinking.
So it's not
Blinking on.
connected to anything.
No, I'm just touching it.
Yeah,
not
but
connected.
show us the wire. You disconnected it totally.
Yeah, this is the end of the wire.
Okay.
And this one used to be connected. So there's only one wire going to the ground. So this wire here
Okay.
is going to the ground through
Is
the
that
bottom.
wire nano coated?
Yeah, it's nano coated.
Okay. Can you switch your light off that we can see it?
Sure. So there. If I touch it.
When you touch it, it comes out. This is what you explain as what do you call it?
Wireless.
Yeah, wireless power transmission.
Yes.
Yeah. Let it go and come back again. It still stays the same. Come back. Yeah. So this is what we said that you're going to show this today in the teaching of Tuesday.
Yes.
So what it is happening now is that the plasma power in the room through your body connection creates the final link. In a way, we've seen this one with Alex connecting it to his dishwasher or washing machine in one of his presentations. And now we see it that you don't even need a washing machine. You can use your body. When you've been in the field of the plasma balance will give you this opportunity. Please do not post any email address on the anywhere.
Okay.
We have to see. I'm gonna go background. So it's okay. That's perfect, Ali.
Thank you.
This is fantastic. This is absolutely fantastic. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Maybe they can show us and explain to us that we can
Yes,
get
thank you.
enlightened.
Okay. So now, I didn't nano coat it yet to be able easier to show. I made it not like a pen, but with a coil, and I used the mango leaf to separate my skin from the coils. And I was thinking, like, I didn't connect these two. One is magnetical, one is gravitational. I thought if I will put the plasma battery with a certain food or medicine, so it can actually do the same thing what Renan showed. So now it's just by going my lymph and blood and nerve system, it will affect my body state, health state, or
In a way, if you keep your finger there, what we're explaining is your finger in the center becomes the center core of the free plasma, which transfers the energy. And because you have both magnetical and gravitational, you can take and give what you need. So in a way, you don't need anything else, but you can even use the winded coil on your finger, and that will create the same condition. The double coil where your finger becomes the center pin. Then you carry your emotion and feeling. If you meant to even switch a light on from a distance, what we saw with Ali, you can do this. And then later on, as you become better at it, you can move it up into your what you call emotional part of control of the brain, and control the environment. And in this process, we can start learning to control without physical contact. This is important as we go into the structure of understanding. The way we started with the switch, now we're going to more or less on emotional, on thoughts, where you can use the plasma, even if what we see here is a plasma, full plasma condition, when it's nano coated. And the reason the leaf is used, the reason we use the leaf is because then we don't have any matter state, because the leaf itself is in the GaNs state, a nano coated material. This way will change a lot of things in the coming time. My God, have you seen that picture?
Mr. Kesh, would that work for amputations as well?
In a way, we have seen pictures of the amputation which is made. There's something strange happening outside with us.
Okay.
I'm stop sharing screen.
You continuously keep everything in a state of plasma. You keep everything in a state of nanomaterial. You keep everything in a state of not going lower, but keeping at the same level. So it's part of the teaching in the third year or in the third terms of the 1-year course that we have started this, what we said. Our intention will do the job. We don't need to go and switch the light off. We've seen now, what do you call it, the switching of the light by Ali. And then we see this, now we see different formation. You can do the same thing, what we saw with the way we discussed the electrodes. The, what do you call it, the electrodes in the water which show the condition change, the measurements. Now if you put your finger in the point where you find the disease, the way you see it with the coils or with a double coil, then you can do the same. So what we see, this is part of the structure. This is how now we go from, we started with the coils, we go into the next level and to the next part of the developments. And now the students or knowledge seekers in the third year are taught how to remotely control understand the control of the neurosystem through the brain to the finger, and then without the finger. This is part of the teaching, and we see part of it today. Her area in south of Spain.
Let me just say that if she is in as a viewer, she can raise her hand and I'll try to pick up on that, promote you.
I can't remember her name. So what we're trying to say, this is according to what we announced months ago. Southern Europe will start feeling tremors when the final push comes in. And people in southern Spain are reporting it. We know of the earthquake in Gibraltar. Her name is Sirpa. Do you see it? S-I-R-P-A. Rick, we've seen the name coming up. I hope she's on the teachings. If she's on there, she can explain to us. She was telling us that they are feeling the tremors, and these are prelude to the final push for the separation of the what I call um, the separation of the two continents. This is what we see. We are not raising alerts, but it's our job to inform what we see. My biggest fear was the start of the tremors in the what I call European South continent. South of this continent is getting the push from the South American moving towards it. As it flips over, it will create a massive shock across the what we call is known as a what I call the wall fire in the back end of North America, China, Central Asia, will go right across the Himalayas, right across through Iran and Turkey. And with the shakes or with the vibration, what we see in southern Italy, southern Italy will become vulnerable too. What we see in southern Europe, the circle completes and the whole continental plate finds its balance. This will take minimum between 10 to 20 years to complete. Once this process starts, it's not going to be overall over. And then the whole totality of it will last at least a few hundred years to complete. We are on the point of the break, if it happens in the next few months or years. And we're seeing the shakes coming in, which means the plate, as I said, the Argentinian pin, which was the what we predicted will happen has happened, and what we predicted, the shakes and the tremors in Western Europe, has been confirmed. So we are on the verge of separation of two continents. Now with it, if we were dinosaurs, most probably we still would have lost some somewhere, but at this point we see it would happen with the whole structure of the planet. It's not just one continent moves, now the whole structure has to move. There's no choice. Can you put a map of the world on and I explain to you, Rick? Can you go to Wikipedia and allow me to share that I can go and share on it? I'll explain to you. This is not to create mayhem or panic. This is explaining a scientific phenomena which is happening. We see the whole evolution, but the rest of the evolution depends on the movement of this section. And it'll take, you will carry on the whole, more or less the whole of the world solid structure will start moving. And we will feel this move. I'm trying to see, I need the two contents on the flat, then I can explain it in a way what we see. And I raise the alert to the maximum. We are on a full alert. And can we have the other way, that way we have America, continent of America facing Asia? Can you find one that way, that we don't see the African? Because the African, then we come back to this one. I need the other side. They all do the maps the same way. We need the American continent facing in the Pacific side. Yes, that's the one I need, yeah. Okay, allow me to share. I'll explain to you. I'll go on my table and I'll share with you what we see. What we see is the following. We see that the breakpoint at the point of Panama. We see the evolution motion of the bottom up, which is putting the pressure on the southern Europe here. This is part of the process. What's going to happen in this movement where we lost the biggest point, which was the Argentinian pinpoint, is that the continent will start moving this way. That's why we see the earthquakes on the southern Spain. Means the solid base below foundation of the top surface has moved. What is going to happen? In this turning this way, it creates a forces on this way, and the releases the what we call LA condition. This in turn will bring disaster into Mexico, will affect the waters in the coast of United States in southern coast. These earthquakes will be felt as far as New York and Washington. At the same time, with a twist in this direction, the whole fire ring will start moving because now it's been freed. In this process, the pressure will put pressure on the west continent of east part of the Asian continent. And this, most of the pressure will face direct, will move Himalayas back all the way to Iran and to Turkey, where it'll join with a movement on this side. The whole movement will be felt because we are all going back on. We will see earthquake in New Zealand as much as in Hawaii, as much as in the parts of Australia. The biggest problem will face the east coast of Africa, the west coast of Africa. The east coast and Central Asia in this part is one of the safest at this moment. This is why we moved to Dubai. That's why we made Dubai the central position for the universal government to be stated in the state of Dubai. So, as you see, all the European governments will become unstable because a lot of people will move in different directions. The only stable condition, the only stable position we'll see at this moment is more or less northeast of Canada.
So even the west of Canada will be affected, like Vancouver and
It
Victoria.
is in a way we get hit by the backlash. Depends how far deep the internal waves will go. This is a phenomenon. This is how this continent we call Australia was separated millions of years ago. If you were an animal or a man on this, you would have felt the same condition. But this is a huge mass because this mass here, I tried to get you a different color. Let me get the blue. This mass here is part of the balancing mass with the above mass here. So when it moves, everything else moves with it. It has to find adjustments. The position which we see due to this move, the country, what we know as United Kingdom, will freeze overnight. Or it goes to high temperatures that are not livable because of the water flow condition which passes United Kingdom and keeps it in a livable condition. As we know, it's the water flow which keeps the nation of or country of United Kingdom in a temperature which is livable. All the water flows within the sphere of the oceans will change slightly. This is what we see, and what I see, this is my personal opinion, we shall not and we cannot reach everyone. One of the reasons we are teaching so rapid and bringing everything out is those who gather the knowledge rapidly can provide food and energy and medicine or help for themselves. In a way, we are bringing everything together that we can do, at least help some of us. Let me explain to you something very simple. We are 7 billion. I can go with more. If we lose 100 million, does not affect the totality. But the difference is that now most of the structure of the society in evolution of the science and commerce sits with totality of this structure. When we say 20 million or 30 million or 100 million losses, is nothing in a 17 billion structure. But some of these positions are key positions. African nations we think is no problem, they're Africans. Or South Americans is not a problem, South America. It's not important if it's California. It's not important if it's China or Tibet or Iran or whatever. But because now that we have become a global entity, it'll affect every one of us. We have a friend, family, relationship, loved ones across the planet. That's why we become one nation. The position is very clear. If the earthquake carry on increasing in Southern Europe, and we see them especially in France, the red alert is on. Evacuation is the responsibility of the governments. If we see further tremors in Spain, southern Spain, in northwest of African continent with the islands, in places like Tenerife and the rest to build up rapidly, evacuation and support of the nation is responsibility of the governments and is the responsibility of human being. We accept our responsibility as Keshe Foundation. We have set up what we call the Universal Council, what we call the world government. We have set the structures for it through the Keshe Foundation, and in the coming time, on a daily, weekly basis, we teach you more, we acknowledge our position, and on the right way, we try to support those who might go through a disaster. There is no government who can support such a move, such a change. Financially, physically. The only nation who can support its people fully, without any problem, is the nation of China. Due to the structure which is set up by the leadership. The rest of the world will suffer heavily. China has shown in rapid conditions it can support itself. We call on the establishment of what we call Universal Council as a matter of urgency, that when the governments abandon their people, we support the people on this planet, irrespective of color, nation, whatever. We don't call them a nation anymore. In the district or area they are. We support the local governments and the rest of it. For this reason, we call for the first meeting of the Universal Council in the city of Dubai on the 21st of April of this year. There is not much time. At the same time, this world government is responsible for the interaction between the human race and what we call the opening of the gates into universal community. We have allocated, we have arranged and organized the meeting for the 21st, Thursday the 21st of April. This is more or less on the same day we had the first ambassadorial meeting in Belgium, 21st of April, and we did the first peace conference on 21st of April in Italy. Now we organize and we announce the establishment of the World Council on 21st of April in the city of Dubai, and we are not electing. It's for you to come, it's for you to attend and nominate in a way we allow you to do in respect to the nation, nationality of the language you speak. You can choose not the way it's done by United Nations, somebody is bribed. We'll introduce a new method of being a member to support humanity. It will not be disclosed until into the conference. We have reserved 1,500 places in city of Dubai, at one of the top hotels, one of the most prestigious hotels known in the world. You can attend this conference, this council meeting, only when you are cleared. We do heavy clearance that we don't get any problem. Secondly, the international police and the city of Dubai police and the government of United Arab Emirates will be full on guard. We have accommodation for 1,500 people. We have organized for 3-night stay, plus attending the conference on 21st for €500 per person, sharing sometime 2 to a room in one of the most top hotels in city of Dubai. Please attend according to the spoken language, as many as you can, and then you'll find out the new way humanity will choose its leaders. There will be no elections and there will be no voting. But you will see the council who will decide and bring balance between the mayhem when it happens across the world with all the changes which will come, because the world leaders have all been bribed enough. And here we are not to bribe, we are here to serve. We have opened the keys. Go on the Keshe Foundation website, go to the shop. You can book your ticket for the rooms only. The flights and everything and visa is your responsibility. We close the entry very rapidly because we have to do the security check. Those of you who come in to do false checking, if the payment is not in the bank, we do not start processing. Please do not fill in the form, because we check across. You pay the donation, you do your transfer, your name to the foundation, we know who you are, because this way we check you. We provide all these names you provide us to the national security of the State of Emirates. So you'll be security checked again. And those of no with red circle and the rest are on the list that will not be allowed to enter. We monitor the list of people who come in. We explain one thing: we are here to unite humanity and not to allow the terrorists to take over. It'll be a peaceful, wonderful time. We bring the Keshe Foundation family group, which sits behind the whole organization, into Dubai for the event. So we are not bringing anybody from outside. The process is very simple. We are here to make the change. We are here to make the world government establishment as a universal council. One responsible to universal community in conduct of the man, and one responsible to the man to universal community. That we work as one race. Every condition has been met. We are in a process to meet the rest. We announce the city of Dubai to be the city of peace. And we establish the World Council, what we call Universal Council, in the city of Dubai. Limited spaces. And over that, if we see further applications, we have to negotiate. We open the keys. It's open now. You can make your booking. You can make. It's done as donation. That nobody can come back. That will go any other way. 1,500 places we can guarantee. We have made arrangements for the hotel accommodation in one of the most beautiful sites in the world. The price you pay does not even cover the price of the room for one night. It's including the breakfast. We have, and our security people in the background sit and check every ID of entry. As we are in an isolated location, you cannot even enter the location. We invite number of world leaders to attend this meeting. They know what they're attending for. We invite some of the most influential business people in the world to be present if they want to. It's your responsibility to invite who you see you want to be as part of the council, and then we show you what it is. We make no nomination when we don't put anybody forward. You will see how it'll be elected. It's the way it's done in the universe, and then you understand there is nobody ever will come to bribe and do what they like. And when you become one of the members of the council, the structure of the council is set. Then you decide for humanity to share all the wealth of the Keshe Foundation, produce across its factories and the rest for the humanity according to the structure of the human resources. No government can bribe no one, and no one through their finances can influence the decision. More or less, every nationality speaking will have a say in the structure which I have set up. You wanted it, we have delivered it. Humanity has been waiting for this, now is in your hand. Now you understand where and how we're developing the next step and next stage. It's not me anymore, it's you who will decide for the future of humanity. And under no circumstances I will stand at any part of this development in choosing, in accepting, or in recommending anyone to be a member of the council. Arman is in charge of seeing this through. He's been appointed by, and he's accepted to see this process through. But no one else will come into the structure to be appointed who's going to be. The 12 members of the core of the Keshe Foundation are and will be allowed to enter if they wish to. But they are and they will sit as a sacrosanct condition for support of the council, not to interfere with the work of the council. They'll be present in the meeting, if they choose to be. So we have achieved and we done what we say, and what we see, and the development comes. It'll bring us to the point that by this year we achieve the space technology in full. We achieve the universal government, which brings equality to all races and man in respect of religion, color and race. As we become one nation, one planet, one race. And in so many ways, we welcome you to the universal community. This is part of what we call first step. Go to the Keshe Foundation website, and if you are sincere to serve humanity, attend. You might not know, you might be one of the members of the council.